Good morning, and welcome to Sunday Live Dharma. My name is John, and it's been just 2 months since I returned to this temple after the long pandemic. During the pandemic, I attended just online, so coming 2 months ago is the first time coming in person. So I'm delighted to practice with you today. This morning, our temple friend, Matti Decker, will share her Dharma talk, Roots and Shoots. First, let us loosen up tension and prepare our bodies for sitting meditation. So please stand up and join the Qi Gong practice guided by Kathleen.
Good morning. Good morning, friends at home. Let's start by placing our feet just shoulder width apart. Wiggle your toes for a minute. Really find that centered balance. You can rock a little bit forward, backward. Really imagine roots shooting down from the bottom of your feet, holding you in place like a tall tree. Let's hold up our hands. Let's wake up our fingers. Just wiggle your fingers, really stretch. And now let's move to our wrists. Lots of crickling wrists this morning. Other direction. Now let's invite our elbows to join. And other way. Now let's do our whole arms. Let's whoosh. Like this. And at the bottom, let's go the other direction. Up. I feel like I'm flying. Very good. Now, let's keep up with our arms for just a minute. Let's bring both arms up and bring one forward and one backward. And now let's bring them to the bottom. Let's keep going. Bring them up to the top. Then one forward, one backward, down to the bottom, and then swing up to the top. Last time, one forward, one backward, swing down, bring them up. Okay, let's go in the other direction. Whatever arm you used, bring the different arm forward, backward, bottom, swing up to the top. One arm forward, backward, breathing in to the top, forward, backward, breathing in to the top. Now, let's go back to our feet. Let's just twist our toes and ankles. And other direction. Beautiful. Other foot. Other direction. Now we're going to move up to our knees. So take your hands, bend slightly, and then we're going to turn our knees into circles. It's a nice stretch, but it shouldn't hurt. So if something hurts, don't do it. And let's go in the other direction. Beautiful. Now let's put our hands on our hips. We're going to draw circles with our hips. You can almost imagine that the base of your spine is like a paintbrush. You're painting big circles. And other direction. One last circle, and then come to the center. Very nice. Now we're going to really use our arms and send energy to ourselves and the world. So take a breath in, bring your arms up. With one hand, push the other. Keep your hips forward though, so it's just the top of our torso that's turned. Then bring that forward arm back with all your energy. Shoot out. Your fingers are just pouring energy out. And breathe out. Come to the forward. Other side. Pull back. Stretch. Focus. Look at your thumb. Breathe in and hold your breath. And release, come back to the center. Other side, pull back. Breathe out and release, come to the center. One more time on each side. And breathe out to the center. And one more time. Very good. Breathe out. And let's bring our hands down. Now we're going to circulate energy using our whole body. So let's begin taking a breath in, up, and then turn our hands and release. And you can kind of just settle into that release. Let your knees relax. Breathe in. And down. This time we're going to breathe in, turn our hands, push up And breathe out. Well, this time to the side. Push. And breathe out. Let's do that each time again. Up, turn, up. Feel your strength and then release. Up, out, and release. Let's bring our feet together. Let's place our hands on our danjan, that lower energy center, and just breathe in and out for a moment. And now, please join as we offer 4 bows to Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace.
With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite source of marvelous existence. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, embracing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guide us to develop justice and freedom through Dharma and universal principles. Meditation is simple and easy. Anyone can practice it. Take time to find your most comfortable position, on the floor or in a chair. Wiggle to release any tension. Rock front to back or side to side until you find the point of perfect balance. Breathe in, grab all your tension. Breathe out, release any mental or physical uneasiness. Let your mind's eye focus on belly breathing. Breathe and listen to your body. Gently straighten your spine without losing focus on the energy in your lower abdomen. Open your eyes softly. Look straight ahead with a level gaze. Without moving your eyes, let your eyelids relax and drift downward to their most comfortable place. Tuck your chin in slightly and let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Enjoy the sensation of your arms and hands relaxing. Bring your awareness to your tongue. Place the tip of the tongue on the roof of your mouth. While your tongue is relaxed on your palate, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. This is a delightful sign of cool energy ascending. Smile at your calm and clear spirit. Invite your awareness to return to your lower abdomen, your Qi energy field. This is called the Donjon and is located about 2 inches below your navel. Your Donjon is the power center for your breathing. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be disturbed by them. Do not react to your thoughts. They're just thoughts. They will disappear by themselves. When your mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused and at peace, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation. You will no longer feel any distinction between yourself and others, finding yourself free from the limits of time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, deeply aware of our ever calm, ever alert spirit.
영주 Prayer Chant, page 4. 천지연기 하심정 만사여의 하심통 천지여와 동일체 하여 천지 동심정. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth.
Prayer for world peace. Grace of heaven and earth.
Grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws. O Dharma Talk, fourfold grace, may we take refuge in Dharma and be filled with compassion and wisdom. May we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world, and may all beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living in their original true nature. This we pray with our whole hearts. 원하옵니다. 내 음성 멸리치는 곳 내 마음 향하는 곳마다 우리 모두 다 함께 우리 모두 다 함께 성불체중인 영이 되어지다.
I
Wish and pray sincerely and truly, where my hands touch the world, where my feet walk on the earth, where my voice echoes through the hills, and in all realms where my heart and mind reach, that we all together share a true affinity for attaining great enlightenment and for helping all living beings. Page 9. 일원상과 일원 is the realm of samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings and laws, the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Still one manifests as both permanence and impermanence, viewed as permanence. Still one unfolds into an infinite world that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is viewed as impermanence. Still one unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. In the four forms of birth we transform through the 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing, with grace arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Ilwan the Dharmakaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one with the nature of Ilwan. Page 10. Heart Sutra. A bodhisattva of great compassion, when deeply practiced Prajna Paramita, realize that all five aggregates are empty, and thus became free from all suffering and distress. O Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dhammas are empty. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. In emptiness, no form, no sensations, no perceptions, no impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eye, no somebody or mind consciousness, no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, no extinction of, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva relies on Prajna Paramita, therefore the mind has no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Free from delusion, one dwells in Nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on Prajna Paramita and attain supreme enlightenment. Therefore know that Prajna Paramita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra, is the unsurpassed and unequaled mantra, which is able to eliminate all suffering. This is true, not false, so proclaim the Prajna Paramita mantra, which says gone, gone, gone beyond, far beyond, now awaken. Gate, gate, paragate, asangate, bodhisattva, gate, gate, paragate, asangate, bodhisattva, gate, gate, paragate, asangate, bodhisattva.
This morning, Mattie Decker, Won Bok Chon, is sharing her Dharma Talk, Roots and Shoots. Let's practice deep listening as we welcome Mattie.
The scripture of the Founding Master, chapter 2, verse 23. The Founding Master said, "My method of edification, to give you a simile, could either start from the branches and leaves of a tree to reach the roots, or start from the roots to reach the branches and leaves. This is because I make the Dharma available according to a person's capacities." I love these words. Every time I read them, I feel tears in my eyes. Why is this? I'm glad to share with you how I unpack these words. 4 things. First, I love that Master Sotasan used simile. Here, meaning is more felt and understood first in the body and senses. It reminds me of the beautiful parables Jesus used with his disciples, which I grew up memorizing in Sunday school. And then later, when I studied the Zen koans, I practiced for many years in Renzai Zen training. And I remember the first time I visited the Wan Buddhist temple and went into the bathroom where there would be a verse on the mirror or taped to the wall with the question underneath, "What does this mean?" There's so much space in this question. I've always felt this spaciousness when I'm reading the scriptures or visiting the temple. I feel there's room for me here. Second, edification, his instruction, a building process, or as I like to think of it, cultivation. This Dharma isn't just nice ideas, but very real and specific ways to build the life we wish to live, with practical skills and resources and tools for living. And I relate to this very personally from work that began when I needed and wanted to teach mindfulness. I studied with neuroscientist Richie Davidson, who began the Center for Healthy Minds after his encounter with His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. Instead of continuing to study the negative effects of emotion on the brain, he turned completely to researching the constituents of well-being, the positive effects of emotion, and discovered how well-being is a skill no different than learning to play a new musical instrument or a new sport. As a professor of education then, this brought new hope to me and to my students, and gave me a way to share the Dharma broadly. I'd been a closet meditator for years, but as I began to find the Dharma in the neuroscience, I was freed to explore in myself. I felt new agency to teach these simple but not so easy practices. And my students, who are all teachers across all levels and subjects, were so stressed. So I began to open class with mindfulness and silence. Or when someone would bring an impossible situation or problem with their work, I'd ask, could we just sit for a few moments in silence? And I'd wait. Inevitably, a shift would occur and some insight might arise. Or sometimes there'd be enough settling that I might offer something that might assist. So there are ways to build the life we wish to live. Third, in the sentence, I make the Dharma available according to a person's capacities. Wow, there is room for everyone here. And this strikes me as being so very current and needed right now. How vital it is that we each find ways to translate the Dharma in our own ways and gifts. As a special educator, this was music to my ears. This, after all, is universal design for learning that I'd spent decades learning and teaching, providing multiple means of engagement, multiple means of representation, and multiple means of action and expression. And here's the important part and why I wanted to mention this to you. How unpacking and applying the meaning in Sotasan's teachings, so pure, and from a different culture, mindset, and context in Korea 100 years ago, can be such a worthwhile practice for us now, is actually so needed. Here we are in 2023, waking up to the Dharma in our lives, really coming home to ourselves. And in large part, thanks to those who felt the call to come to America and share it. And I want to ask a question. What is our responsibility as we take this in, receive it, learn it, and practice it? How can I share this more fully in all aspects of my life in this hurting world where so many are marginalized, dismissed, or canceled? I'm resisting the word we, though I see I keep using it. How can I make room in myself for the Dharma in all my moments? Release my unique gifts and creativity. Fourth, the beauty of the simile itself. This practice could either start from the branches and leaves of a tree to reach the roots, or start from the roots to reach the branches and leaves. Each one of us experiences the Dharma from where we first touched it. This may have been out somewhere on the branches or one of the leaves, or begin at the root to reach the branches. As I experience this meaning, the leaves or the branches could be any experience in our life. Nature, music, literature, or study, or a practice of any kind. Or a teacher who said something that was an arrow to the heart. Waking up in this present moment is what it's about. Wherever we are, doing anything, opening a can in the kitchen, or walking a path, or looking into a flower, as I did today, or studying anything in depth can slow us down to be quiet and still enough to see and be present with whatever our focus is. It might make us want to do a 180 turn in our life, in our direction, or in what we eat, or the people we hang out with. Try choosing one scripture from the doctrine and living with it for a few months. I recommend it. Starting at the root to reach the branches for me is reading sacred text. I realize this has been a lifelong practice, first from the Holy Bible and then so many other writings from all over the world. The forms have changed over the years, but the spirit I experience is the same. How can this be? I recognize it's my own spirit. I feel such resonance as though the words bring me to my core, my true nature. And this happened to me when I first sat in the temple. It was years ago when Michael Macklin was speaking the words we all then spoke together. I take refuge in the absolute purity of my eternal nature. In that moment, these words brought me to my earliest conscious felt self. When, as a young child, I gave my life to God in the form of Jesus. And in that very tender and precious self, I knew I was goodness and light. And it wasn't a belief. It was a very real, felt sense of knowing the truth of who I am. And I was having a very visceral reminder. This felt presence and selfless awareness arises every time I sit long enough in silence and stillness. My confidence is here in my practice. And I find that as I am faithful to my practice is faithful to me. So to close, I'd like to read the verse again and just invite us all to sit and see where we feel this in our body. The founding master said, "My method of edification, to give you a simile, could either start from the branches and leaves of a tree to reach the roots, or start from the roots to reach the branches and leaves. This is because I make the Dharma available according to a person's capacities." Deep bows to us all. Kamsahamnida. Start from the roots to reach the branches and leaves. This is because I make the Dharma available according to a person's capacities. Deep bows to us all. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you, Mary. Mary used to live in Kentucky. I remember traveling there with Patty years ago, and we had a retreat with her friends. Now Mary is living in Asheville area. She's like a forest healer, and she stays connected with us no matter where she is with her practice. Thank you for the insightful talk, especially, whenever Mary delivers a message, each word is coming from her heart. So now, dear friends, why don't we take a moment to share our thoughts and reflections with the friends. So here, please pair up with your friends, and any takeaways from today's message, please do share each other. And friends at home, also please share your words and comments and questions in the chat.
Thank you so much for practicing with us today. After the service, we invite young adults to stay after to gather and further discuss the Dharma. There are 2 events happening at the Raleigh Center today. At 2:30, there will be an in-person introductory class to Won Buddhism. At 5 p.m. will be the meditation gathering. Please join if you can. And once again, we are always grateful for your support as a donor or a sustainer. Thank you so much. Now let us bless each other with our morning prayer on page 13.
Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today, full of health and with peace of mind, may I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with your grace. Today, gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with compassion. Today, making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world.
Now, friends at home and in the Dharma Hall, let us bow to our brothers and sisters near and far. Thank you.